Good evening and welcome to Satsang with John David, live from the Open Sky House in Hittorf Cologne. And tonight, everybody who is watching from their computer or their mobile phone, you're very welcome to join the meeting. You can talk with John David directly via Skype. And the Skype address is Meeting John David. And everybody who wants to spend a longer time with John David, the next possibility is the Whitsun retreat here in the Open Sky House in Hittorf. And in the summer there are two retreats. One is in Tripilya in Ukraine in the Open Sky House community, and the other retreat is in Denia, directly at the Mediterranean coast. One is in July and one is in August, and all information you find on John David's website, www.johndavidsatsang.international. And everybody who likes to visit us here in the community and enjoy the community life, work and play along with us, you are very welcome to come as a guest or as a helper. Or you can come to our open weekend from the 12th to the 14th of July, where we have many workshops, satsang, concerts, and everything is free. You even can stay here the whole weekend for free. And information about this you find on our website, www.openskyhouse.international. Thank you.
Welcome to satsang. Okay. Some good jokes tonight. A man and his wife were at odds and not talking to each other. In the evening, the man suddenly remembered that he needed his wife to wake him up at 5 a.m. so he could catch his flight. Since he did not want to be the first to break the silence, he wrote to her on a piece of paper, "Please wake me up at 5, and left the note on the bedside table. The next morning, the man woke up only to find that it was 9 o'clock and he had missed the flight. He jumped out of bed furiously to find out why his wife had not awakened him, and came across a note on his bedside table. The note read, "It's 5 o'clock, wake up." Little Joe always gets teased about being dumb. One of the favorite jokes is that the kids offer him a cent and a euro to see which one he chooses. Stupidly, he always chooses the cent, and off the kids go laughing. One day, a kind neighbor can't watch it anymore and says, "Joe, my boy, a euro is worth more than a cent." "I know," smiles Joe, "but if I keep picking the cent, they won't stop the joke, and I already got 15 euros this way." A Mormon was seated next to an Irishman on a flight from London to the US. After the plane was in the air, drink orders were taken. The Irishman asked for a whiskey, which was promptly brought and placed before him. The flight attendant then asked the Mormon if he would like a drink. He replied in disgust, "I'd rather be raped by a dozen wild women than let liquor touch my lips." The Irishman then handed his drink back to the attendant and said, "Me too, I didn't know we had a choice." I think I'll give you one more as this is quite funny. A little girl asked her mother, "How did the human race begin?" The mother answered, "God made Adam and Eve, and they had children, and so all mankind was made." 2 days later, the little girl asked her father the same question. "How did the human race begin?" The father answers, "Many years ago there were monkeys from which the human race evolved." The confused girl returns to her mother and says, "Mum, how is it possible that you told me the human race was created by God and Dad says they developed from monkeys?" The mother answers, "Well, dear, it's very simple. I told you about my side of the family and your father told you about his." So that's it. So I think we've got some family guests have just arrived. Is your mother and your grandmother? Yeah? Aunt. Okay. Good. Do they understand? Oh, they're getting translation. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those days when I desperately try to think of something to say, but actually nothing comes at all. And I rather enjoyed the beautiful silence we had, actually. I was a bit tempted. I thought maybe we make tonight all in silence. But then I thought I probably should speak to this lady here. Would you like to be first? So I think you told me today in the garden this is your second visit.
Yes, actually the third, because
Third visit.
last week I was for a day visit.
Oh, you were a day visitor.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a third visit. So what do you think it is that creates the interest to come a third time?
I think it's this heart-opening energy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel your heart.
Yeah, it's just the third time I'm here, but it feels like coming home.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. I think this is a nice description. Coming home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the society is somehow always pushing us in the direction of being on a trip, yeah, on a business trip. And here we, you know, the encouragement is to come home, yeah,
Yeah.
take a rest, enjoy a whiskey or 10 wild women.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to describe. It's during my last stay I learned so much about myself. By talking and doing things I've never done before, like theater or singing karaoke.
You've been singing and doing theatre here.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah? You were
I wouldn't
surprised you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have before. So.
Right, right. Yeah.
But I think it's quite easy to do such things here because there's, it's no one who laughs
They don't
when
laugh.
something went wrong or.
Right, when you make an idiot of yourself, nobody laughs at you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's quite a big plus, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
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 I like it here.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, you were telling me in the garden that it's a sort of special moment in your life, yeah, because you've been married for quite a long time, and now you somehow made a friendly separation.
Yeah.
And probably that's quite a strong situation for both you and your husband or ex-husband.
Yeah.
And so to come to a place like this where you can relax. I don't know what's happening with the television, but it's flipping much too quickly backwards and forwards. Tara? It's flipping too quickly between us. Yeah, it's completely too quick. Now it's okay. Yeah. Although I think it's probably better if it's not on me. They get a bit bored with me, you know. Same beard every week. I thought I might have to dye it different colours, you know, just to keep the interest. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? You don't think a purple beard would suit me? I mean, it would go with my new shirt, for example, yeah? Purple beard and new shirt. I'm joking, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're saying also about seeing things about yourself, I mean, inevitably when one would separate from somebody we've been close with for a long time, yeah, it's not only about, you know, do I want it, I don't want it, but it's more about what has been stirred up in the relationship, yeah, because inevitably when you live closely to somebody, things get stirred up, yeah. And it's not always easy to look at those things unless there's a sort of blanket of love around. You know, you can wrap yourself in the love and then you can look at whatever's going on inside. Yeah.
I think it wasn't that easy because for quite a long time I felt caged in my marriage.
Yeah.
And but there were too many anxieties to get out of it, so that's why I was married such a long time. And
but this is pretty normal, I think, that, you know, once we get something like a marriage going, it's not so easy to separate out.
Yes,
yeah?
of course, but yeah. I was anxious about living on my own and that I could manage it emotionally and financially. So yeah, that's the main thing that that made me stay in what I had.
Right, all right. So is there an
Even-
overwhelming emotion in the last period when you've been alone?
Yes, I feel free. That
Right.
there's a very strong feeling of freedom,
Right,
and I enjoy it very much at the moment.
right, right,
To do what I want to do and when I want to do.
right, yeah. I mean, this is one kind of freedom, yeah, but
Yeah.
you probably understand it's not the whole freedom.
Yes, of course.
There's a little bit more kind of freedom available.
Yeah,
But it's a good start because
yeah.
in some way, emotionally, it's not so different, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can still remember when I was, I think I was 26 or 7. I'd been working for a few years as a design engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a nice job in a nice office. But I felt exactly like you described. I felt very caught up in something that actually wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 3 years to get enough courage to say I'm leaving. Because,
Okay.
you know, once a year they would have like a review. You know, you went to meet the boss and he would tell you, well, you've done pretty good. Going to give you a bit more money this year, you know. And each year they gave me much more money than I expected. And so I couldn't really bring myself to say, well, actually, I want to leave. I was a bit kind of hooked on this extra money.
Yes,
And the third year, I thought, well, they're probably going to give me a lot more money as well. I've got to do something else this year. So I had a few whiskies and then went after lunch, after my whiskies, I went and said, oh, well, before you give me any money, I just want you to know I'm definitely leaving. You know? And then maybe a few months later, I found myself back in an architectural school because I was kind of involved in designing buildings. Mm-hmm. And I remember one day coming out of this school and almost vomiting. I was feeling so much freedom. That changed later, of course, but anyway, at that moment, enormous feeling of freedom that, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, I mean, the real freedom has got something to do with the mind, of course.
Yes, of course.
Because in any kind of relationship or any kind of, like I was in with a work situation, there's always two parts of it, yeah?
Yeah.
And so somehow our mind puts us into something like a relationship. There's a sort of deal that kind of works, even if it doesn't completely work. And the mind easily rationalizes the situation. Yeah. But I think it's rather a good moment for you to taste this sort of emotion of how it might be if I was really free of my own thought patterns, free of my own mind structures, maybe free of some old strong memories, that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah. I think there are a lot of memories which I could let go during the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a good time with my mom as well, but now we are a bit closer now, I would say.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of things I was able to let go during the last years, and what's the word? Vergeben, verzeihen.
Forgive.
Natürlich. I learned to forgive myself and the others for what they've done maybe to me, or what we did together to each other.
Right,
So,
right. I think that's more accurately, that we do it together to
Yeah.
each other.
Yes, of course.
We call it love, I love you.
And I started to learn to love myself more.
Right, right.
Usually I was afraid about my weight because it's not that much that it should be when you hear what the doctor says and BMI and whatever. But I never reached that. So
Your weight.
my weight.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you look like a good weight.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of money to get
Yes,
to look
they
like
would,
this,
but
I know somebody who's just sitting right here who would
Yeah.
definitely swap if you like. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I always
if
wanted
you have a
to-
special secret, you better let us know.
no, there's none.
You could market this,
Yeah. I haven't found out by now.
Right.
Yeah. Usually I wanted to have more weight, but doesn't work. So it is how it is.
Right, right. Well, if you can find the magic ingredient,
Yeah.
You'd
Then I let
become
you
a very
know.
rich woman. You wouldn't have any money problems after that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this is the first time we've met, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't around when you were here
Yeah.
before. And have you been to these kind of meetings before? Have you been?
No.
No.
I watched them on SatTV
Yeah.
or SatTV,
Yeah.
but I've never joined one.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's quite interesting because I've been sharing for quite a few years. And actually, a lot of people start really looking carefully at what's going on inside them when something like a relationship breaks up, or could be a job, or could be health. Those three things. Yeah. When we need a bit of a shock to our system to really say, "Hey, I have to look at this. What's going on in my life, or something." Yeah.
Yeah, I started beforehand, but yeah, my husband was very dominating, and I was the one who let it, who let him do it with me. So it's about 5 years ago that I watched the film The Great Misunderstanding, and at that point I thought, wow, I should visit them. It sounds very interesting, and
Right.
but it wouldn't be possible
No?
because my husband never would let me go.
Really?
Yeah. I
Right.
join healing meetings in Münster
Yeah.
with a woman who calls herself Energy and Light Healer.
Right.
I visited this meeting for about three to 4 years now, quite regularly, 4 to 5 times a year.
Right.
And always when I was back home, my husband said, what did they do? Did they wash your brain or something like that? You're mad when you're back. And yeah, I was more myself when I was back, but he didn't like it.
He didn't like who you really were.
Yeah.
He liked you to fulfill his idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be that small grey mouse
All right.
who always does what he wants to.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy when I started to be more myself.
Yeah, well, you became more assertive, maybe more powerful in a way. Yeah. 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 Anyway, you told me that you're still friends, and I think that's very nice that you've been able to extract yourselves in a friendly way, not in a fight way. Yeah.
And not by now. Not by now.
Not so far, you mean? Yeah, because it could get still...
I don't think, well, I hope so, that it will stay like...
Have you
like
decided who gets the dog?
The dog is him.
Dog is...
I don't want it.
You don't want the dog? Keep your dog. I'll take the cat. You know.
We actually had a cat. It was mine. And then he wants to have a dog.
Right.
Big one.
Big one. And then the cat
German
ran
wire-haired pointer.
Right.
And my husband is a hunter, and he wants to have a hunting dog.
Okay.
But then the cat have to go because the dog would eat the cat.
Right.
And the cat is living with a neighbor by now, and the dog he's got for about a year now. And I didn't want it to have a dog because I knew if there's a dog, I have to walk him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now he has got his dog and he has to walk him most of the time when he's away for work, for longer times, or at a weekend maybe. Yeah. Then I'll go to
you go and walk his dog?
Care after the dog.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
But that's just a short period, and then I can give it back.
Right.
So it's not that I don't like the dog, but it's a lot of work.
And so in this last period where you've been looking at some things inside you, what would you say is the strongest for you? What comes up the strongest?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Well, for example, you talk quite a lot about freedom, yeah?
Yeah.
And probably in that freedom you feel also power, you know? Maybe in a way you'd called yourself a grey mouse before, now you're orange and yellow mouse, you know, so you're a bit different now maybe. So, I mean, is that something you value, to feel your own inner power coming?
One point my husband and me often argued about was that I sleep so much. I start work at 8 o'clock, but always I'm in the practice at 7:30 because I need my time to organize myself and such things. And I was home about 6 in the evening. We had dinner together, and then we placed ourselves on the sofa in front of the TV.
Right.
And after half an hour, I fall asleep in his arm.
Right.
And he wasn't amused about it because there was no family life.
Right.
But otherwise, I think there's no family life in front of TV. So.
Right.
Yeah, and. Since I moved away, I've got. I think that I don't need that much sleep. Now I go to bed at 10, maybe 11, and wake up or get up at between 5 and 6.
Right. Maybe you're just avoiding the television. Or him, of course.
Sometimes I... okay. Now I don't watch that much TV.
Right.
During the first weeks, but because I thought there was nothing else to do, but by now,
You found a few other things you can spend your time.
Yeah. Sometimes watching SatTV.
So is there something about SatTV or this meeting I mean, you're not that familiar with the spiritual world, it seems, but there must be something attractive to come here a few times, watch the meetings a few times.
I wouldn't say that I'm not that familiar with, because my or the energy healer I worked with, she
What is her name?
what's her name? Anita Gatz.
Okay.
She's from near Munich.
Okay. No, I don't know.
But she does workshops in Cologne and in Münster.
Right.
And yeah, she stayed a long time in India and with some with Aborigines and some other indigene Völker.
Indigenous people.
Yeah, that's
right.
it. And I think what she's doing is a mixture of different maybe styles.
Right.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of Hindi beliefs in her work. So the work with her changed a lot of my beliefs.
Right.
I'm still a member of the Christian church, but I think just on paper. Because, my beliefs changed very much in my beliefs, especially for the death. Now I believe that that you were born again and again and again. So it's much easier for me to let people go. My grandma died about 10 years ago, and it was very, very hard for me to let her go and to get out of that, I would say depression after her death. Because she was, I knew that she didn't want to die alone. And when I was a child of 9 years, I promised her to care for her when she's old and ill. But I didn't, because I married and went away. And that was, it was a very hard situation for me that I wasn't there when she died. And it took me a lot of years to get over it. And last year, my granddad died, and it was much easier for me to let him go, because now I believe that someday his soul will come back and has another life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is. There's a doctor who's written a book, Soul Journey Through Many Lives or something like that.
Life Between Lives.
Life Between Lives, yeah, which I started on the plane back from Spain, actually. The plane was a bit sort of rattly, so I thought maybe remind me to take out of my bag and start reading this book.
Okay.
It's very reassuring because this book is it's quite interesting because he's interviewing. Well, he's not interviewing. He's reporting on various sessions where people have regressed back to the moment they died, actually, and what happened after they died, where they went, and who they met, and. Well, I haven't read that many pages, of course, but it seems clear from what he's writing, because he has had a lifetime of doing different kinds of psychological work with people, that actually, when you get on the other side, basically it's pretty nice.
Yes, I think so.
And therefore, if you really can take that it's pretty nice, then in a way we can see this life more in terms of the overcoat, you know. I'm wearing this overcoat, and over the time, I never take it off, actually. I like it so much, you know. My coat. And so I always wear it every day, summer or winter, you know. Yeah. So, of course, gradually over the years, it gets a bit worn on the elbows, you know. I drip some food onto it, you know, and the buttons fall off, and it gradually sort of deteriorates, this old coat, you know. But I'm very, very attached to my coat, you know.
It's still quite cozy, I know.
And then, of course, there is this possibility when you can imagine that, you know, getting the next coat, you know, then you're more willing to let the old coat go and welcome a new coat. You know? Yeah. Buttons are better sewn, and the colours may be nicer, yeah, or not.
Who knows that?
So this is quite interesting, I think, to a little bit look at that, because the society, Western society idea about death is very, how can I say, it's very unhopeful.
Yeah.
You know, you just get a box, and they put you in the box, put the box in the ground, and then maybe they write a bit about you for a while, or talk about you a while, and then quickly it's it.
I was in a Catholic school for my first 4 school years. And our religion teacher told us a lot about hell and things like that. And
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't easy that time.
Right. So he wanted to have a class of really good kids.
Yeah.
You know?
By now, I think everyone makes his own hell
Right.
on his own.
Heaven. Yeah.
So if my hell has green grass and blooming flowers, I would like it.
Right. Well, I had a spiritual teacher in India called Osho. Maybe you heard of Osho. And he always used to tell us that he's like to go to hell, because in hell you get all the interesting, fun people are in hell.
Okay.
You know? And he doesn't want to go all those goodies, you know, in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that rather appealed to me, actually. I thought, well, yeah, he's got a good point, you know.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Well, you could find the Osho would be quite interesting for you, maybe. I don't know. Do you know anything about him?
Not too much. I've read your book, Aranachula Satsang.
Right.
So there you told a little bit about him.
Yeah.
I know a few meditation techniques
From him. Yeah.
But not too much.
Right.
So I know the Kundalini meditation and the
Dynamic
the other?
meditation.
Yeah, the dynamic.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's
it. He had this idea that unfortunately the Western mind is quite complicated and quite busy, and therefore we couldn't go into a classical meditation where we would just sit quietly, you know. So he invented these 2 very dynamic meditations where you dance and shake and throw your body around, and then the last few minutes you sit silently.
Yeah, for me it's much easier than just to sit.
Right.
Mind is running always.
Right.
I know that, but I can't stop it.
Right.
By now.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes in the morning after yoga,
Yeah.
then I got a few quiet minutes, or calmer minutes, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yoga, of course, is designed to create a quiet mind. Yeah? It's not only exercises, but it has the intention to work on your mind. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you're here for a few more days, I think, yeah?
Until Sunday, yeah.
Till Sunday. Ah, okay. Ah, you go back to work probably
Yeah.
on Monday. Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
But I'm quite sure it's not the last time I stay here.
It gets more and more dangerous, you know, as you come back. Do you realize that?
More dangerous.
Yeah. This is. I mean, when you first come, of course, we have all these friendly people. We got Ram looking like Father Christmas, and Kashi looks like a very young teenager or something. And you know. But gradually, as you come back, you know, all these faces change, and you start to think, oh, dangerous place, very dangerous place here. Yeah. Dangerous place.
So I have to come back to find out.
Right. Very good.
By now there are no dangerous things, I think.
No. But it is interesting because, of course, the danger is not really a danger as in hell, you know, but is the fact that, in a way, the more you come back here and the more that you start understanding yourself and the more you have taste of freedom, what you're calling freedom, of course, it's getting more and more attractive, actually.
Okay.
It's getting more and more attractive. And then when it gets more attractive, you want to spend maybe longer here. And you feel less pull to go back into the regular environment of society, where you're a nice Catholic girl, you know.
I must say, after the first five, I think it was just 5 days I stayed at the beginning of the month. It was horrible to get back to work.
Yeah.
I was, for a whole week, walking and working like a robot.
Right.
And I don't know, my mind was somewhere up there, gone.
Right.
It wasn't easy to get back.
This is why I'm talking about it in a jokey way about being dangerous, of course, because, I mean, when you keep doing that, I mean, you maybe would come after some time to a natural position where you say to yourself, why do I keep going back into something old, which I didn't like, really, and why don't I stay more in this new thing, which I don't quite understand, but actually I quite like. And when you discover that that's actually your own nature, you know, what you've discovered really is your true nature. It's not about our community, actually, it's about you. And when you realize that, of course, then things get quite interesting.
Yes, I think so. But yeah, I couldn't say that I don't like what I have by now in my usual life. I like my work, and the things I started doing things since I moved out. I think I try to find out who I am by now, or who I am when I'm on my own.
Yeah, this is the point, you see, because when you get interested in knowing who you are, this opens up an amazingly beautiful inner adventure, inner journey. Yeah? And as this, inner journey becomes, if you like, more beautiful, then that becomes more and more attractive. And
yes, of course.
Going out and doing a job, even if you enjoy the job, or used to enjoy the job, you may find that that's becomes a different balance in your life. That you start to see that having time to get in contact with a deeper part of you is more important to you than doing a job you like.
Yes. So at my job, there's during the next 2 years there will be changing, because my chef and chefin are going to retire. And there was, it is a practice, and
Right.
there was a question if someone of the colleagues want to do it, to take it over.
Right.
At the first moment, I said, yes, I'll do it, because I didn't want to let go of that nice thing, because I think my colleagues are a bit like family as well. Yeah, we've got a very special contact, I would say. Yeah, and I didn't want it to lose that. But after one night sleeping over it, I was sure that I didn't want to do it, because I decided for myself that I want to, not that I want to, that I work for to live from something and not live for my work.
Right.
And if I would take it over, there would be a lot of more work to do.
Right.
Now I've got a 35 hours working week on 4 days.
Right.
And then I'm away. I've got nothing to do with it.
Right.
And I like it. My long weekend from Friday till Sunday.
Monday. Yeah. Right. Well, I think you probably survived your marriage quite well, actually.
Yeah, I did, because
Maybe your practice was quite supporting in a way.
yes, of course. I think the last 3 years, I often thought about, it is the time to leave now, because in every, how is it called, argument maybe with my husband, or not, no, argument is not enough, Streit, argument, yeah, maybe fight, yeah. My husband told me during the last 2 to 3 years, if you don't like it here, then you have to leave, or then leave.
Yeah.
And that makes it easier for me to think about.
Right.
And I often thought about
Leaving.
leaving after a fight. And yeah, but there still was that
Where am I going
that
to live? Yeah.
anxiety about not being able to live on my own financially and emotionally and whatever. Then in one of our meetings, we worked at my family situation, and I found out that that it's always or only the mind who stays in it, not the heart.
Right.
And at one point, I wasn't able to decide which one is the better way, the heart way or the mind. Then we made a Kundalini meditation, and in that last 15 minutes, it got that clear for me that I have to go now. It was like someone switched something in my brain, and I was sure that I have to leave and that I'm able to.
Right. Wow, that's good.
Yeah. Maybe it was a very small Satori moment.
Are you planning to have a bigger Satori moment?
I'm not sure. Maybe sometime.
Have you seen the film that we
No,
made?
I haven't by now, because on Amazon it's not available at the moment.
Oh, isn't it?
No, I don't know why, but
I don't know why either. Where's the manager of our website? She's not even here. Oh, there she is, hiding behind the camera. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure she'll, approach you tomorrow and tell you how to download it or something. Yeah. She's actually doing a great job at the moment because she's almost finished a new website.
okay.
And in this new website, you can definitely download it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that right? See, good. Yeah.
Yeah, by now I
mean,
don't.
when we were making this film, well, when we had made the film, I mean, we didn't really plan to make the film. It was a happening,
Yeah.
And after the happening, we decided to continue talking and then make a film.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was to give, we thought, pretty amazing information, which a lot of people maybe don't have. Because sometimes in my meetings, people will come and share, that they had such a moment, but it happened in a way that they felt very much fear about it. And then that kind of closed everything down because of the fear. So then it seemed to me that it would be really good to put this out in the world, but then we weren't really sure. We thought, well, maybe it's just too much for people, they can't take it. Yeah? And then if you look on American Amazon, some people bought it, and they wrote things like, I only watched the first 5 minutes, it's absolute waste of money, don't buy it, or something like this. So it's very interesting. We thought it was almost too dangerous to put in the public, and the public thinks it's so boring, don't bother to even buy it. So I don't know really.
So I haven't seen it by now. I couldn't judge.
No, you have to have a look. Yeah. Well, you can have a look tomorrow night, perhaps. Actually, did you announce the concert? We have a concert tomorrow night. I don't. Wow. You missed it. You missed it. So tomorrow, guys, who are watching, there's a concert at Wow, which is an amazing, multi-dimensional, creative. And a wonderful concert, mantra concert tomorrow night. At what time is it? 6:30? 7 o'clock in Hilden. Hilden. It's exactly halfway between Düsseldorf and Cologne. So we're very friendly with people from Cologne and people from Düsseldorf. So don't be afraid to come. Yeah, okay. Do you have any questions? Probably not.
No, not by now.
I think your questions just get answered, do they? Do you find that? That you get questions and they get kind of answered? Because there's such an opening inside you at the moment.
Yeah.
It feels to me that you get the answer.
Yeah. At the moment, a lot of things just come.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for something, but it's just there.
Right.
And I don't suppose anything. It's coming.
All right.
And it's great.
Right. Yeah, it's called life, actually.
Yeah.
But you haven't been living that. Yeah.
It's so much easier.
Right. Yeah.
Than to work hard for everything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish you, I wish it all works out in you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. It's already worked out, actually.
Yes, I know.
So that this is actually something that's very comforting also, because the reality is we're already who we want to think we should like to be. This is our deeper nature.
There's already a plan.
You have a plan.
No, not I.
Ah, you don't. There is a plan.
There is a plan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a plan. Yeah.
There is some kind of plan from the universe.
Right. Yeah. And it's not even about coming to Open Sky House. No, it's on a bigger scale than that. Includes everything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm very interested in finding out what's coming next.
Right. Yeah. And how long have you done this nice job that you like?
In this practice now I'm for 10.5 years.
Ah, okay, that's quite long, yeah.
And yeah, so there is a colleague who will take it over, and he asked me if I would stay, because there are some special kinds of therapy which I'm the only one who's doing it in this practice by now. And yeah, at the moment I said yes, I would stay, but I don't know how it is in a year or maybe 2. So
2 months even. You don't
yes,
know
of
how
course.
many months you know. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very beautiful to live in that way, where you don't really make plans about how it's going to be, but you actually just enjoy the kind of natural unfolding of how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to enjoy the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't make any plans. I planned my summer holiday, but yeah, it's not too far planned.
Right. Okay. Good to meet you, and wish you well. We'll talk again.
I think so, yeah.
Good. I think we should talk with somebody who's far away in the back of the room. This rather small lady. You want to come? You're going to need a bit of help with German. Who's going to do that? Tara, you? I think you speak in German, you'll be more relaxed, yeah?
German.
Yeah.
Please.
Because you're probably going to say a lot, yeah? You're going to talk a lot
wahrscheinlich
tonight.
ganz viel sagen.
I mean, it seems to me since we last talked, which I don't know when it was, but maybe it was a month ago, quite a long time.
Ich glaube, seitdem wir das letzte Mal gesprochen haben, das war ja circa vor einem Monat,
Maybe you're much more competent now.
bist du vielleicht jetzt selbstbewusster.
I mean, she was talking about the grey mouse syndrome. I mean, probably you were kind of emerging out of the grey mouse.
Das graue Maus-Syndrom gesprochen und du kommst ja vielleicht gerade heraus.
You have to be careful, or you'll have to bring our cat. You know, then your life
So
gets
gut
grey.
aufpassen, sonst kommt die Katze.
Was soll ich sagen?
What should I say?
Ich hatte so eine ähnliche Beziehung wie Ramona
I had a similar relationship as Ramona.
Oh, yeah?
und war jetzt keine 5, nicht so lange. Also ich wusste schon nach einem halben Jahr, dass es nicht funktioniert
The relationship was not that long. I already knew after half a year that it didn't work.
Aber bin trotzdem noch 1,5 Jahre länger geblieben.
But still I stayed 1.5 years longer.
Right.
Ja, und es war echt dann alles Gleiche. Er hat mich dominiert sozusagen
It was pretty much the same. He was dominating me
und ich habe es zugelassen.
and I allowed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to see that it's only possible for somebody to dominate if the other person is kind of happy to be dominated. Yeah?
Es ist gut zu sehen, dass der eine nur dann dominieren kann, wenn der andere einverstanden ist, sich dominieren zu lassen.
And as you probably as you got your own power, he was feeling like, well, this isn't really working.
Und als du mehr in deine eigene Kraft kamst, hatte er wahrscheinlich das Gefühl, jetzt funktioniert das hier nicht mehr.
Ja, das Interessante war, wie Ramona auch sagt, es war dann ein Tag, wo der Schalter umgeschaltet hat und da gab es dann kein Zurück mehr. Also das
Yeah,
ist,
it was interesting because there was this one day where the switch went around and then it was all clear and there was no doubts anymore.
All right. All right. Well, I think I told you this the first time we met. You know, I'm pretty sure that inside you there is a kind of power that's looking to, you know, be seen and to be
Also,
recognized.
Ich habe dir ja schon bei unserer ersten Begegnung gesagt, dass mein Eindruck ist, dass da eine Kraft in dir ist, die zum Vorschein kommen möchte.
Yeah.
yes.
So I mean, you can allow that as much as you like here. You know, we kind of really encourage this kind of transformation into power. You know.
Und das kannst du ja so viel und heftig machen hier, wie du möchtest. Wir ermutigen ja
Yeah.
dazu, in seine Kraft zu kommen.
I mean, the sect investigators.
Also die
Hello, mummy.
Sektenbeauftragte,
I mean, they have the idea that, you know, in this kind of situation, it would have to be that, you know, John David is trying to get everybody to follow him and be like him.
die glauben, dass in einer solchen Situation hier John David möchte, dass alles so wie er sind.
But actually, I would hate that.
Aber ehrlich gesagt finde ich das für
Hate that. And actually, if you look around
Das ist eine
at the
fürchterliche
people
Idee.
sitting here, I mean, well, I'm the fattest.
Also wenn du dir die Leute hier anguckst, die folgen mir nicht. Zum Beispiel bin ich ja der Dickste hier.
And you can see our new guests, how, you know, they're showing up, you know, so it's not about following John David.
Also du siehst ja, wie unser Gast hier auftaucht. Es geht also gar nicht darum, mir zu folgen.
And I think this is one of the things that's actually very touching for me.
Und das ist eine Sache, die mich sehr berührt.
That over the years, you know, it's clear that there's no attempt to follow somebody or follow John David.
Dass es hier nicht darum geht, jemandem zu folgen oder mir zu folgen.
And actually, we even have a little kind of motto or slogan for the Open Sky House,
Wir haben jetzt so ein kleines Motto oder Slogan für das Open Sky House.
which is something like, be as you are.
Und das heißt ja, sei wie du bist.
We were thinking of changing it to be as John David is.
Wir haben schon mal darüber nachgedacht, das zu ändern in sei so wie John David ist.
But, you know, we didn't think that was a good idea, really.
Aber dann haben wir entschieden, es ist doch keine so gute Idee.
So, I mean, this is actually a very beautiful slogan, actually. Be as you are.
Also dieser Slogan, der ist ja sehr schön, sei wie du bist.
You know, because the funny thing about it is that you don't really have to do anything.
Denn das Witzige daran ist ja, dass du gar
Because
nichts
if you
tun musst.
understand,
dafür.
it's somehow, you know, when you would stop doing, then what happens? Who are you when you stop doing? You're as you are. You be as you are. That's the bottom line, basically.
Denn was würde denn passieren, wenn du aufhörst, dich anzustrengen, wenn du aufhörst zu machen? Dann wärst du ja, wie du bist.
And this is quite beautiful because somehow then you become empowered to be as you are. You know?
Und das
You
ist
can't
ja,
be as you are if you're not empowering yourself.
und das
So,
ist ja
so
sehr
this
schön.
brings much power from inside.
Denn nur wenn du in deiner Kraft bist, dann kannst du so sein, wie du bist. Also da kommt ganz viel Kraft in dir hervor.
Ja, ich will das auch. Also, ja,
I do want that.
ja,
Right,
ich bin auf dem Weg.
I am on my way.
right.
Aber ich merke auch, dass es einfach Zeit braucht.
But I also can see that it takes time.
Jetzt fällt mir das Wort nicht, jetzt weiß ich, was ich sagen wollte. Ja, einfach Ruhe oder Mitgefühl mit mir selber.
It needs silence and it needs compassion with myself.
Yeah. And to understand that although your parents would have loved you as much as they were capable to love you in any moment or any situation,
Also deine Eltern haben dich ja so geliebt, wie das für sie möglich war in der Situation.
somehow everybody comes to this human life.
Und aus
Everybody comes to
ja,
this human life.
seltsamerweise kommt jeder in diesem menschlichen Leben
Apparently with certain things from other lives, you know, certain kind of structures in our mind from other lives, or certain strong memories, even like traumas from other lives.
kommt jeder mit Strukturen aus anderen Leben schon hier an.
You know, and so there are layers and layers inside.
Es gibt also viele Ebenen in uns.
So it's a beautiful adventure because you don't know who you are and you start to discover it. You get little glimpses of, oh, could that be me? Oh, am I like that? Oh, I see. You know.
Also ein
So it's actually a lot of fun.
schönes Abenteuer, sich selbst zu entdecken. Ah, bin ich so? Ah, bin ich das? Das
Ja,
Ganze macht viel Spaß.
ja, das stimmt. Also ich nehme das auch wahr und ich kann es gut beobachten.
I am aware of that, I can observe that.
Die verschiedenen Persönlichkeiten kann man auch sagen oder verschiedene Eigenschaften.
The different, you could even say the different personalities, the different qualities.
Gute wie schlechte.
Good good and bad ones.
Ja.
Yeah, and somehow as you meditate more and as you get the support of a community, you will find that more and more things are revealed to you. And then you can decide, you know, what am I going to do about this? Is that really me? Is that me? Or is that something I got from the outside?
Und wenn du weiter meditierst und mit der Unterstützung der Gemeinschaft hier, wird mir zum Vorschein kommen und dann kannst du dir das angucken und schauen, bin ich das oder habe ich das angenommen? Was mache ich damit?
So I think you've got quite a strong, something strong inside.
Also ich habe das Gefühl, du hast da was Starkes in dir.
And you're going to enjoy very much discovering that, actually.
Und du wirst viel Freude daran haben, das zu entdecken.
You see?
Glaube ich auch.
I also think like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so this is very beautiful because it brings lots of juice into your life.
Da wird viel Farbe in dein Leben kommen.
And actually, you know, I've been working with people now for more than 20 years.
Ich arbeite jetzt seit über 20 Jahren mit Menschen.
And I don't think I met anybody in that time who, if they really looked and if they really were open to investigate themselves, discovered immense amounts of power was there inside.
Also und alle, die bereit waren, wirklich hinzuschauen und ja, zu gucken, zu beobachten, die haben viel Kraft in sich entdeckt.
Okay. All right then. I know you don't have any questions. I think we're going to finish actually, so thank you.